This is Face the Music, an Electric Light Orchestra song-by-song podcast. Episode 013, From the Sun to the World, Boogie number 1. What's that song all about? From the Sun to the World is the fourth track on the album Electric Light Orchestra 2, and first track on side 2. It's also the last time Roy Wood recorded with E.L.O. He plays the cello and bass guitar on this song. It was recorded in May 1972 at the Philips Studio in London. The album was released in January 1973. A quadraphonic version was mixed but never released. Word is it sounded pretty much like the stereo version. Bev said in a 1973 issue of the Birmingham Post and Mail, "This was the suggested title for the album, but we thought it was too pretentious. If anything, it is the most heavily arranged and complicated track."
Hey, Eric! Hey, Eric, do that thing!
Hi, I'm Eric Winsenson.
I'm Eric Paul Johnson.
And From the Sun to the World, Boogie number 1. I can definitely say that I like this a lot better than Boogie number 2.
Yeah.
I remember this being, I didn't have it on the playlist that I had on my regular jukebox or on my iPod, but I did have it as one of the excerpts on my highlights tapes back when I did archiving on tapes, mainly for taking music with me while I went driving. I just haven't heard this song probably in about 10 to 15 years, and it's probably one of his longer songs that actually works. Has some interesting musical passages in it, and a few things I think that are lifted from other songs. But musically, it is quite engaging. It doesn't meander as much as some of his other longer stuff does.
Yeah, there's nothing bad that I can say about the song. I like it. I've always liked it. I like the cellos. They're like chugging along like a big train, pulling the song with it. I like the synthesizer. We get Jeff's voice that we know and love. I like the middle part where it gets kind of classical. There's the quiet piano interlude with a French horn and violin. It feels like it belongs in that song, unlike Nellie Takes Her Bow, where it felt like it was just jammed in there and didn't belong at all. This feels like it belongs in there. It breaks into a boogie-woogie piano, which I've always dug. And yeah, for a long song, it doesn't feel like it drags out like, Old England Town felt like, all right, we got it. We heard this part earlier. Can we just end this already?
Yeah, in Old England Town kind of, it feels like a bludgeon. Let's put it that way. The whole production kind of, which is great for heavy metal music. I love it in heavy metal music, but it doesn't always work for other types of music.
No, not really.
And where From the Sun to the World is quite, well, I think I just like the fact that he really drops some of the, I hate to say pretentious with the Electric Light Orchestra because they really usually don't get that way, but kind of drops some of the pretension that of trying to really be artsy and just go with what he knew. And even though, it is a longer song, but if you do what you know, it's good. I mean, there's blues songs that go on for a long, long time, and you don't even notice how long the thing goes, even though it's only 2 chords throughout the whole thing. Or something like Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone. You need 6 minutes to actually sing the song that he wants to sing. There's nothing wasted in that entire song. And that's the way I feel about this one. There's really nothing wasted in it.
Yeah, and that's something that I hadn't thought about. The song doesn't feel like Jeff is being forced into trying to do something orchestra-y, even though he's more from a British pop, rock, Beatles background. This feels like he's getting the concept and figuring out how to work it with what he does well, and the two come together well.
Yeah, the pop and rock part is always a lot more important with E.L.O. than the actual classical part. Now, one thing I did notice, one of the piano parts sounds very much like a song by Andy Stewart. Andy Stewart was a Scottish singer who was popular in the 50s for a novelty version of Donald Where's Your Trousers. But he was also very popular for him doing a more traditional song called A Scottish Soldier. And the piano part sounds like the chorus from A Scottish Soldier.
Because those green hills are not Highland hills, or the Island hills, they're not Mylands hills, and fair as these green foreign hills may be, they are not the hills of home.
When you said, Scotty, where are your trousers, I was like, oh, I know that guy. Thanks to Dr. Demento. I know who you're talking about. When I was looking up the song facts for this song, there were some accusations that Jeff may have lifted this from some classical pieces, and even one of the band members, I think it was one of the cello players, said he might have done that, but Jeff said, no, I wrote it all on my own. It's all me.
I did this.
Yeah. Now, after you stumped me with the lyrics for In Old England Town, I've actually been reading the lyrics before we go into the song. And when I read the lyrics to this song, the back of my head kind of blew out. Because they're, for Jeff Lynne, these are dark. I mean, most of Jeff Lynne's E.L.O. songs are about love, either having it or wanting it, or being without it, or songs about singing and dancing with animals in the jungle. But this one is like, whoa, Jeff, I didn't know you ever got that dark. One of the lines here is, moving across the ocean with the flag of death a-flying, and the demon butcher pointing out the message on the tide, and the demon light a-sailing by his side. It's like, oh, wow.
Arr, we got pirates.
Pirates. I was thinking, that's, not that I'm an expert on this music, but I can't stand it. I was like, wow, that's kind of death metal of you, Jeff.
Well, there is pirate metal. I don't know if you ever heard pirate metal.
No, but I hate heavy metal music, but now that you said pirate metal, now I'm intrigued. Now I want to. There's some metal that now I just feel like I got to hear. What's that sound like?
It sounds like heavy metal with sea shanties.
Yeah.
If you want some pirate stuff, but you don't like metal, I'm going to give a shout out to a band called Rust Monster from Kaysville, Utah. And their latest one was steampunk, but their first two albums are pure pirate goodness. So if you like that kind of stuff. But we're getting off track here.
Sea shanty metal. I have to hear this now. I have to go search this out when we're done.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe how many genres of heavy metal there are. So
I guess, if Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem can be Muppet metal, then I guess there's metal everywhere.
That's true. But no, we're never talk bad about Dr. Teeth, though.
No, we don't.
But yeah, I can see where those lyrics actually kind of fit, because from the sun to the world, the song, a lot of it seems like it's about exploring and discovery. Very much what some of El Dorado was, too.
Another couple of lines that make me wonder if maybe this is a very dark environmental song, because the last lines is, and the love that shone down from the sun to the world no longer could support the life it gave. So, from my dim-witted view, that could be about all the pollution we were pumping into the air and the smog and everything, and the sun can't get through, so you can't support the life, so the moving across the ocean black flag of death is coming for us all.
Yeah, it's possible, because that was the beginning of the environmental movement.
Got something to say about From the Sun to the World? Then call the telephone line voicemail at 623-850-3375. Like it? Hate it? What does Madeline think?
I hate it.
Hey, she hated it.
Face the Music, an Electric Light Orchestra song-by-song podcast, is a production of Radio Trolla Entertainment Assorted Deli Meats Amalgamated. Contact us by voicemail at 623-850-3375 or email us at eloftmpodcast@gmail.com. Keep up to date on the show by joining our Facebook group. You can financially support the podcast by going to podomatic.com/podcasts/LNTCS and click on the PayPal button. Next week, episode 014, Kuyama.